From Little Rock, Arkansas, who was attacked in her home. Over the weekend, Ann Presley lost her battle to survive. NBC's Don Teague has more.
It was exactly 1 week ago that Little Rock news anchor Ann Presley was brutally attacked in her home.
There is a spirit.
For 6 days, the community and her family prayed the 26-year-old would survive. As late as Friday, her family was still hopeful she'd pull through.
We are guardedly optimistic about the potential for her recovery.
There is much more to come here on Daybreak.
But just after 7 o'clock Saturday night, Presley, a popular anchor on ABC affiliate KATV, lost the battle.
It is a very sad night for us here at KRK. Our friend and colleague Ann Presley has died.
Presley had suffered blunt force trauma to her head and upper body. She reportedly suffered numerous broken bones in her face and severe skull fractures. Brain injury experts say recovering from such injuries is never certain.
There are cases of severe head injury where patients have a fluctuating course where they can get worse or can get better and then worse again. And ultimately, because of the severity of the brain injury, they can die.
In a written statement, Presley's family thanked the community for their prayers and said, "Although our hearts are broken, we are at the same time comforted by our faith, knowing that Ann is now with our Heavenly Father." Tonight, a Baptist church in Little Rock will hold a memorial service to help the community mourn.
We lost a beautiful person, not on the outside, but on the inside. And I just words can't even say how bad I feel, for the family.
Police investigators say they still have no suspect and no motive in the attack on Presley. They do have some DNA evidence taken from her house and say someone used Presley's credit card at a gas station after the attack. As a murder case, the investigation will take on even more urgency as Little Rock mourns a fallen star. For today, Don Teague, NBC News, Little Rock.
Lauren Traeger was a colleague of Ann Presley's and is a reporter for our NBC affiliate KRK. Dana Bradley was also a friend of Ann's and was her former producer. Dr. Bruce Sanderson is a close family friend who was at the hospital the past few days with Ann's family. Good morning and our condolences to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Dr. Sanderson, let me start with you. We left here Friday and things seemed a little hopeful. She was in critical but stable condition. As I mentioned, you were with her family over the weekend. How are they doing?
They're doing as well as can be expected. Their hearts are crushed, but they have such strong faith in God and Jesus, and are standing on that promise that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord.
I know
that has sustained them.
I know you've known Ann since she was a young girl, a teenager. What do you remember most about her?
Well, she was a vibrant young lady and always full of fun, very charismatic, and everyone loved Ann and loved to be around her, and she made everybody feel good just being in her presence.
She was a good reporter, Lauren. I know you were with her on, I think you guys covered a story together, and I've heard you tell a story about how when President Clinton came to town, that she was really a go-getter. She went out and knew how to make sure she got an interview.
That's right, Matt. It was actually the first day I met her, and I was new to the market, actually new to the business. And we were covering President Clinton, and there had been a gaggle of reporters, but most of them had left, and Ann and I just decided we wanted to stay and by chance grab him individually for an interview. And she knew right away the question to ask him to get him to come over to us, and sure enough, she shouted it out. He came over, and he talked to just the two of us individually, and that was the first time I met her, and that was the first time out of many after that I was really impressed with just her drive and her determination as a journalist.
And Dana, you were a former producer of hers. What was she like to work with?
Yes. Well, the story I like to always tell to kind of say how Ann was is I used to work kind of the overnight shift, and she would come in early in the morning, and whenever she got there, we were done with our show, and we were all tired in the newsroom, and everybody was just dragging because it's been a long night. But it's like every moment when she would walk in that newsroom, it's like a bright light would come on. I mean, she was so happy, she would smile, and she was just like a breath of fresh air. She was like an angel walking on earth, and it's just so unreal that she's not with us anymore. It's just, it's hard to deal with.
I know police are working this case very hard, trying to figure out if this was random or something else. I mean, just a question to all of you. Any of you think of anyone that would have been an enemy of Ann's?
No.
She's not one that you would think to have an enemy. I mean, we never really know, but if you knew Ann, anybody who knew her, she was just, I mean, couldn't have an enemy. Just the sweetest person, a hard worker, dedicated to everything she put her mind to. And it's just, you would never think an enemy. I mean, you never think that. So, I mean, if you knew her, no, you wouldn't think that.
And she was the kind of person where people felt like she was friends with you. Yeah. I mean, there was just this warmth and energy that even if, I did not know her that well, but I still felt close to her, and I wish I'd been closer to her now.
Well, again, our thoughts
to everybody.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are not only with you, but of course Ann's family, and we thank you for talking to us during a tough time. Lauren Traeger, Dana Bradley, and Dr. Bruce Anderson, thank you again.